Okay, gonna do a little update on my Land Cruiser and hopefully share some information that will be helpful to pretty much every Land Cruiser owner. So I got my ARB bumper on. I'm really happy with that. I just finished re-spooling the winch. I got a used winch. It wasn't spooled up very well. And I've been driving it in the mag chloride and salt mix on the roads, so it's been making a mess of it. And there's a lot to think of when it comes to washing one of these older Land Cruisers. You really shouldn't just go ahead and wash it. There's a lot of prep to do before you go crazy cleaning it up. That might sound strange, but yeah, there's quite a few things that you should keep in mind. So first, you want to make sure that your sunroof drains are unclogged. And there's little holes in the bottom of the rockers, if you look, that you can take a zip tie and poke it through the holes and make sure the drains are clear underneath here. So that'll allow your sunroof to drain right, keep it from leaking. Also your windshield, you want to make sure that's installed according to OEM spec. There's a certain way how to do that. You gotta seal the rubber here and here when you're installing one of these windshields. So that can cause a water leak inside, rust out the floor. Having clogged up sunroof drains, that'll rust out your rockers because the water can't go anywhere. The water will just sit in here and it sounds like you're driving with a fish tank. Also, the rear windows. You want to make sure that the seals are good. Oftentimes they'll tear in the bottom and you get water leaking down into the interior, into the quarter panel. And so I put new seals on this. I refreshed all these windows here. Actually, I pulled all the windows on this Land Cruiser just to make sure that I did find some surface rust in all the seal seating areas, so I treated that and cleaned it up. Then there's also another spot you have to watch for is with the taillight buckets. You can pop this light out. There's a screw here, 2 screws in here when you open up the tailgate. Pop that out and there's a plastic bucket. You want to make sure that the bucket is sealed good against the body. If not, you can add some butyl rope. It's pretty cheap stuff, works well, and you add that to the bucket so it's got a nice good seal. Otherwise you're going to get water down in the quarter panel. So if you do have water down the quarter panel, if you pop your interior panels and the taillight buckets, you can see down in there pretty good. And there's a drain, a rubber grommet. You can pop that grommet out and drain it. So yeah, that's another issue. And then with the engine, a lot of people, they get excited when they get an 80 series and want to wash off the engine. Don't do that, especially if it's a new vehicle to you that you just acquired. With the electrical connectors on these, they get old, and when they get old, they're not waterproof anymore. So if you go ahead and blast off the whole engine compartment and get it nice and shiny clean, it's super common for the engine not to start because now you have water in a whole bunch of connectors. So what you want to do before you wash the engine compartment, if it's a Land Cruiser you just bought, you want to unplug every single connector in the engine compartment, and you want to fill it with some sort of grease that'll make it waterproof. I use this stuff, but you can do research online and figure out what you want to do on your own. But every single connector, you have to pull it apart and waterproof it. Check the O-ring on your distributor cap. And in fact, as you work on the truck and refresh stuff, every connector on the undercarriage and stuff that you pull apart, it's good to put some grease in it before you put it back together, so that'll waterproof it. So then when you're also washing it, I like to use a high pressure wand, and I try to aim it in this seam right here, all through along there and way back in there. And then you also want to get up under the quarter panel and the rear bumper area, and that'll help get a lot of that mud and mag chloride or salt, whatever they put on your roads where you're at, out of there. And then another thing you can do is you can stick the wand right in this frame access hole here. I believe they use this for transport, tying the truck down when Toyota was shipping them. And you can spray right in there, and that'll wash mud out of the frame. Now, if you've gotten the Land Cruiser stuck in mud and had the frame submersed, then you're gonna have tons of mud in the frame. It's just sitting there. It's gonna be damp. It's gonna start causing corrosion. So you can pull the frame plugs, the rubber, pull them all, and get your high pressure wand and just start spraying them out. The ends of each frame at the bumpers are open, and yeah, you're gonna have to get on your back and crawl under there with all these plugs pulled out and try and wash the frame out nice. Also, you want to make sure that your door drains are clear. So see, here's a door drain there. Make sure that's clear. Otherwise, you're going to start getting rust at the bottom of your doors. You can check, make sure there's no rust forming in here. If there is, that's kind of a common area. You can clean it up real nice, and then put some rust. I like to put rust converter on first just to finish it up. Make sure there's none left, no, rust left, and then I undercoat it, paint it, and undercoat it. So there's that. You also want to make sure that you got your little fender skirts in here that'll keep crap from getting up into the engine compartment. You see there's another spot where you can easily kind of stick the pressure wand into the frame and blast out whatever dirt's gotten in there just from driving on the road and stuff. When you're using your high pressure wand, you can kind of hit these areas right along the seam here, and what that'll do is wash out your jams real nice. And when you're done, you can take a rag, open the doors, and dry them off with a rag. Some people will actually just open the door and spray with the door open, but it does kind of make a little bit of a mess inside. Once a year, if you're in a place that has a lot of salt and mag chloride, you can actually go into the passenger rear, open the passenger rear door, flip the seat up, and there's actually an access cover for your fuel pump. You can pull that cover up and wash in there as well and clean the top of the tank, so you don't have salt mix sitting on top of the tank causing rust. And yeah, just go around the whole vehicle. You can blast up in through here, this crevice on this other side, get all underneath, make sure you try and get up on your spare tire, and all underneath the undercarriage, just reach down there with your wand and blast away. And that should get most of the salt and mag chloride, corrosive stuff off your truck. Keep it in good shape for a lot of years. So that's an update on my truck and a little how-to on how to just kind of do a nice good wash. And you'd be surprised how many people with Land Cruisers, they just pop the hood and start spraying away, and then it doesn't start, and it costs them lots and lots of time to get back on the road because there's water all in the connector. So be especially careful with that. So that's about it. I just been driving the truck quite a bit. My transfer case is making noise. The transfer case is 300,000 miles on it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. So at this point, I've replaced pretty much everything as far as the drivetrain goes. And once I replace that, I'll probably rebuild the T-case, get another one, and rebuild it and put it in. I also am building some sliders that are getting close to being done, so I'll show you, do a video on that soon. Thanks for watching, and you can take a look at my channel. I got lots of Land Cruiser videos, well, about a dozen or so, if you call that a lot. Anyways, thanks for watching. Take care.